Hello everyone, my name is Michelle, and I can boast of the thinnest waist in the world. Well, okay, if not the most, but definitely one of them. Now you will hear for yourself how it happened. Keep listening and watching, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I am also waiting for your comments under the video. I grew up as an ordinary girl, a little plump for my height and age. In principle, everything was fine with me, until one of my classmates insulted me. I was about 12 years old at the time, and I remember him coming up to me and saying something like, "Hey, fat girl, step aside." I was so upset. It was a blow because I had never thought about my figure before, much less thought that I was fat. It was even more insulting to hear him say it, because I liked him. By the way, yes, this is how my poor, fragile heart broke. From that very moment, I set myself to improve, to work on myself. In an interesting magazine, I saw a photo shoot of models. They advertised underwear, and I liked one beautiful corset. It looked delicious. Black fabric with a little ruffle, ribbon bows, everything looked so expensive and elegant. I wanted to wear something like this. I saved up my money and bought something like this. Mine, of course, was 10 times cheaper, but it was also black. I ran home and tried to put it on. To be honest, it wasn't the first time I did it, and when I did, I couldn't breathe. It seemed to me that all my internal organs were lifted up and someone was squeezing my stomach hard from behind. I've never experienced such discomfort before. I also couldn't hunch over like I usually did. The corset held my posture. This was also a huge plus for it. But I wanted to take it off. I was dying of pain in my back and stomach. I couldn't even eat properly because of the inconvenience, but I wasn't going to give up. I wore the corset everywhere, not taking it off even at night, and kept to a diet, refused sweets or gluten. With each passing week, the discomfort became less and less. I took off the corset only to wash it, that is for 20 minutes a day, and then put it back on again. My back straightened, the pain decreased, and everywhere, I felt light and healthy. So it took a couple of months, and then I was surprised to notice that I had lost weight. The corset was a little loose in the abdominal area, and that was my victory. What did I do next? I went and bought another corset, a little narrower, firmer, more beautiful. I did not spare the money when I saw that they work. My goal was now not just to lose weight, but to have the thinnest waist in the class. By the way, there was another girl in my class whose name was Lauret. She was the thinnest in the class, and her belly was about 55 centimeters at the waist, and I planned to beat her figure, to reduce to 50 centimeters. I knew it would be difficult, and I would probably have to pull the corset down again, but I wanted so badly to rub that goat's nose so that he would once and for all remember me as the slimmest girl in the class. Well, it was said and done. Every month, I tightened the corset by 3 to 4 centimeters, and after about a year, my waist became straight aspen. I remember standing in front of the mirror, taking a measuring tape and wrapping it around my waist, and there was the cherished 50 centimeters. I did it! I became the thinnest girl in my class. During this time, I had changed corsets about 8 times. I continued to diet, to stretch more, and after the holidays, I came to school in a new dress with my favorite corset underneath. Everyone looked at me in surprise, and I was so pleased with myself. I walked up with my slender figure to the classmate who insulted me by calling me fat once, and smiled at him. He stood there in a daze for a while, and then he said that I was no longer fat, I was now sick in the head. Can you imagine? I could have bitten him for saying that. He enraged me. All the pain, torment, and dieting spilled out at that moment in a great aggression. I attacked him like a wild cat, scratched his face, kicked him in the knees and ribs, pulled out the hair on his head like petals from a daisy. And I shouted loudly. I don't remember what, maybe even cursed. The teacher stopped me. She grabbed me and led me to the principal's office. There I told him everything as it was. All the revelations came out of me, along with tears. The principal listened to me for a long time, and then called the boy to her office. His name was Austin. He came in, sidestepping me a little, sat down cautiously in the chair next to me, and asked what they wanted from him. The director said that he was not behaving like a real man, then explained that he had no right to insult me and call me names, especially after I had done so much work on myself. Her actions deserve respect, and what else can you show us besides insults? The principal asked. But Austin stared sadly at the floor, said nothing at first, and then turned to me. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't want to forgive him, but I knew I had to put an end to it." I told him to get lost, and then I got up and went to class. About 6 days passed since that day. Austin came up to me again, and he asked me where I lived, and I was surprised, but he said he wanted to apologize properly. In general, in the evening, I was waiting for a basket with flowers and fruit, and inside it was a nice note like, "Sorry again." It was a beautiful gesture, but it wasn't enough. The next day at school, he came up to me and asked me to go to the movies, and I thought, why not? After all, he might be making amends like this. I went to a movie with him, then to a cafe, and we walked home. To be honest, I was still mad at Austin, but at the same time, something else was beginning to stir inside, but it wasn't anger. Not at all. At school, Austin would offer to carry my bag, sit next to me at lunch. Sometimes we would even walk home together after class, and he would still come in the evenings. And when we were friends, on one of the walks, I told him that we should stop. "Stop what? What is it?" he asked me. "I'm not mad at you anymore. You don't have to arrange walks, movies, coffees. I'm not mad anymore. You're a good guy," I said. Austin stiffened visibly. He stopped, stood in front of me, and said he didn't do it for that at all. "Then for what?" I asked, and he kissed me. At first, I was very surprised. I wanted to push him away, hit him. But then I realized that I also somehow wanted this. After a couple of minutes, he apologized for calling me names again. "I always liked you, in any way with any parameters, and I do not know why I hurt you then, but I did not want to hurt you. And then when I saw you different, transformed, I was even more confused," he said. He kept saying something, but I still couldn't believe what he was saying at all. Wait, what? So you liked me and that's why you said something nasty?" I asked. He looked down at the floor again and nodded. At first, I was very angry again, and then I thought about it and realized that it was really only because of that situation that I saw myself on the other side, stronger in spirit, body, and mind. I proved to myself that I can work on myself in spite of ridicule, talk, or rumors. I did not care at all what they say. I aimed for my goal and got it, and it proved to me what I can do. So what happened next to us? Austin and I started dating. He signed up for a gym to work up his abs. Don't think I put him up to it. He himself decided that for a girl with a perfect figure, then he should be a guy like that. I, by the way, also signed up for sports. I'm on the right diet and have already taken off my corset. I don't need it now. It turns out that I can adjust my figure without it. I continue to feel great, love my body and myself, and I noticed that people around me began to treat me in the same way. People feel your confidence and reach out to the strong. So I advise you, before you start working on your body, first work on your inner state, and specifically on your thoughts and attitude towards yourself. Then and only then, the right people will reach out to you and you will have a healthy mind, body, brain, and everything else. Well, you get it. Now tell me, are you satisfied with yourself? What would you like to change and why?